All right, so it is end of the day, and I want to have a little bit of fun before I take a break for the evening. And I really want to just take the GBT, that's George B. Thomas HubSpot Helper AI clone for a test run here and talk about it a little bit past just being able to message it like text or chat, but actually have a conversation around it. And so if you're watching this live, you can put a question in the chat pane. I'll copy and paste it and throw it in here. Or if you're curious how it would answer a question that you might have, you can A, go over and test it, or B, you could DM me and I will literally have it answer it and give you the answer so that you can start to see what is possible with this bad boy. It is I feel a little bit like Geppetto and Pinocchio in this scenario of what we've been creating, but it's been super interesting as far as the process and the project. But without further ado, I'm going to use AI to talk about AI. And so I'll just add to the stage here. What you're going to see is I've just generated the top 25 asked questions about HubSpot. And what I want to do is I want to grab some of these and I want to see how the clone actually will answer them, how the HubSpot helper will answer them. So we'll start out with an easy one. What is HubSpot and how does it work? So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to go to helper.georgebthomas.com. I'm going to actually do a new conversation for this. And instead of texting, which you can type, and you just saw that you can have multiple conversations you can get back to, I'm going to go over here to the phone and we're going to go ahead and get ready to start an actual call where we can talk with George B. Thomas, the HubSpot and human helper. And in this scenario, what's going to be fun about this is I'm going to be talking to myself. Is that fun, funny, or weird? I don't know, but we're going to go ahead and roll with it. So I'm going to go ahead and start the call. And you know what? I'll bring these down. I don't know why I copied that because I'm not going to type it. I'll type it later. But I'm going to start the call. I'll bring the questions down here so I can start to ask the top 25 questions around HubSpot and see where this goes. So we'll start the call. By the way, we are getting a 1877 number that will eventually be here as well. So you could call from a phone, a real phone, rotary, or a razor, or a iPhone, totally up to you, in the very near future. But for now, even from your computer, you can call. And also, if you speak one of these languages, it will speak that language with you as well. So it's a multilingual and global HubSpot helper is what we got going on here. So let's go ahead and start this call.
Hey there, I'm George B. Thomas, the HubSpot Helper, your go to HubSpot expert and inbound growth guide. How can I help you today?
Yeah, George, can you tell me what is HubSpot and how does it work?
All right, so HubSpot is like the Swiss Army knife of business growth tools. It's a software platform designed to help companies attract, engage, and delight customers. Basically, it's all about making your marketing, sales, and service processes work together seamlessly. Imagine you're running a business and you've got all these moving parts: emails, social media, customer data, sales pipelines, support tickets. HubSpot swoops in and says, hey, let's put all of this in one place so you can stop juggling and start growing. Here's how it works.
Oh, George, I have a
HubSpot is
question.
divided.
I like this idea of stop juggling and start growing. So let me ask you another question. Is HubSpot free? And what is the difference between the free and paid plans of HubSpot?
All right, so here's the deal. HubSpot does have a free version, and let me tell you, it's not just some watered down trial, it's legit. The free CRM gives you tools for contact management, email tracking, live chat, and even some basic reporting. Honestly, for a lot of small businesses or startups, that free version can be a game changer because it's better than some paid CRMs out there. Now, when you start looking at the paid plans, that's where things get spicy. HubSpot has starter, professional, and enterprise tiers for each hub, like Marketing Hub, Sales Hub, Service Hub, and so on. The paid plans unlock advanced features like marketing automation, custom reporting, and higher usage limits. For example, if you're using the Marketing Hub, The free plan might let you send emails, but the paid plans give you tools like workflows, A/B testing, and more sophisticated analytics.
George,
The
I
beauty of
love what I'm
HubSpot's
hearing here. I have a
model.
question. George, I have another question. I love what I'm hearing here. Are there certain industries that benefit most from using HubSpot? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Oh, absolutely. HubSpot is like a chameleon. It adapts beautifully to a ton of industries. That said, it really shines in industries where customer relationships and content driven strategies are key. Think about sectors like tech, SaaS, education, healthcare, real estate, and even nonprofits. For example, SaaS companies love HubSpot because it helps them manage long sales cycles and nurture leads with precision. Real estate, it's a game changer for tracking deals and automating follow ups. But honestly, any industry that values inbound marketing and wants to align their sales, marketing, and service teams can crush it with HubSpot.
George, I have
What
a
industry are
question.
you in?
I love
Maybe we can dive
George, I have
into
a
how it
question.
could work for you specifically.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, George. So I have a question. I've heard you talk about wrapping HubSpot around your business. Can you talk to me, especially when you're talking about that sales and marketing alignment, but customization of HubSpot? Like, talk me through wrapping HubSpot around your business.
All right, let's dig into this because wrapping HubSpot around your business is one of my favorite topics. When I say wrap HubSpot around your business, I'm talking about customizing the platform so it fits your unique processes, goals, and challenges like a glove. HubSpot is powerful, but it's not a one size fits all solution. You've got to mold it to your needs. Let's start with sales and marketing alignment. This is where HubSpot shines. Imagine your marketing team is generating leads, but your sales team isn't getting the right context about those leads. HubSpot bridges that gap. You can customize lead scoring, automate handoffs between teams, and even create workflows that ensure sales gets notified the second a hot lead comes in.
Hey, George,
It's
I have
like
a
having a
question.
well oiled machine where
I
marketing
have a
and
question,
sales are
George.
working in sync. And
Hey. Okay, there we go. Anyway, sometimes you just got to yell at him sometimes. And of course, we're doing this as a live as well. So, George, here's my question. I want to dive into that marketing thing because one of the top 25 questions that people ask about HubSpot is how can I create and manage marketing automation workflows? What do you have to say about that?
all right, let's talk marketing automation workflows because, man, this is where HubSpot flexes its muscles. Creating and managing workflows in HubSpot is like setting up a series of dominoes. Once you push the first one, everything falls into place automatically. First, you start by identifying your goal. Are you nurturing leads, sending follow ups, automating internal tasks? Once you've got that locked in, head to the workflows tool in HubSpot. You'll choose your trigger. This could be something like a form submission, a contact property change, or even a specific page view. Then you start building the steps. These could be emails, task assignments, lead scoring updates, or even delays to space things out. The beauty is in the
Hey, George, I have a
customization.
question.
You can branch workflows.
I have a question. So, can I test my workflows before I actually turn my workflow on just so I make sure that nothing's messed up?
Oh, heck yeah, you can test your workflows before flipping that switch. And honestly, you should. It's like the golden rule of workflows. You know that saying, measure twice, cut once. Same vibe here. HubSpot lets you preview how a specific record will move through your workflow. You can test things like which branch it'll follow, whether the criteria are met, and even if the timing feels right. One trick I love is adding a temporary condition, like a specific record ID, so only your test contact or deal gets enrolled. That way you can see everything in action without accidentally enrolling your entire database.
Interesting.
Once you're
George, I have
sure it's
another
working
question.
like a
I
charm,
wanna switch
you can.
gears here because we've been talking about marketing. Let's talk about sales. And so, how does well, actually, I'll ask you this one. I'll ask you this one. How does HubSpot CRM compare to other platforms like Salesforce or Zoho? What are your thoughts on that?
All right, let's dive into this. HubSpot CRM compared to Salesforce or Zoho. It's like comparing apples, oranges, and I don't know, mangoes. Each has its own flavor, but HubSpot's got this unique vibe that makes it stand out. HubSpot is all about simplicity and integration. It's built from the ground up to unify marketing, sales, and service tools in one system. You don't need to be a tech wizard to get started. The interface is clean, intuitive, and user friendly, which means even non technical folks can jump in and start seeing value quickly. Plus, HubSpot's free CRM is a solid entry point, especially for small to mid sized businesses. Now, Salesforce, that's like the enterprise powerhouse. It's super customizable and can handle complex processes like a champ. But here's the catch: it often requires more technical administration and can feel overwhelming for smaller teams.
Interesting.
It's
George, I have
also
a question.
typically a
I want to
bigger
keep going.
investment, both in terms
I
of
wanna I wanna ask you another question because I wanna make sure we hit another hub. So if I think about the HubSpot Service Hub, let's talk about this. How does HubSpot support customer feedback and surveys for those service or support humans?
All right, let's dive into this because HubSpot Service Hub is like the ultimate toolkit for gathering customer feedback and turning it into actionable insights. When it comes to surveys, HubSpot gives you three main types: customer satisfaction surveys or CSAT, net promoter score surveys or NPS, and customer effort score surveys or CES. Each one is designed to measure different aspects
George,
of
I
your
have a
customer
question.
experience. For example,
I have a question. Can you actually walk me through how to set up an NPS survey in HubSpot?
all right, let's break this down step by step so you can crush it with your NPS survey setup in HubSpot. First, you're going to log into your HubSpot portal and head to the Service tab. Once you're there, look for feedback surveys. That's your starting point. Click on it and then hit Create Survey. Now, you'll see a few
Nice. All right,
options.
George, let's
For
let's
NPS,
I have a
you'll want to
question.
select.
I have a question. I want to keep going here because we're running out of time on this little live that we're doing. So people actually keep listening or watching. Um, Here's the thing. I want to talk about operations, maybe even hit into CMS real quick, but so talk me through this. How does HubSpot's custom objects work? And when are some times that I might want to use them?
All right, let's talk custom objects because this is where HubSpot gets seriously ninja level customizable. Custom objects are like blank canvases in your CRM. They let you create entirely new categories of data that don't fit into the standard objects like contacts, companies, deals, or tickets. Think of them as containers for unique data that's specific to your business. For example, if you're a SaaS company, you might create a custom object for subscriptions to track details like plan type, renewal dates, and usage metrics. Or if you're in real estate, you could have a custom object for properties with fields for square footage, listing status, and price. Now, when should you use custom objects? Here's the golden rule. If you need to report on, automate, or
I feel like
segment by
George is
data that
driving through a
doesn't fit
tunnel
into
right
the
now.
standard.
Shoot, the internet and audio and bandwidth, I tell you. All right, let's ask one more and then we'll get out of here. We'll get out of here. Um, George, tell me how I can get started
All
with.
right, hit me with that last question. Let's.
Okay, I was planning on it. George, how do I get started with HubSpot Academy for training and certifications? How should I get started?
All right, let's talk about getting started with HubSpot Academy because, man, this is where the magic happens. HubSpot Academy is like the Hogwarts of inbound marketing, sales, and service. It's where you level up your skills and become a certified HubSpot wizard. First thing you want to do is head over to HubSpot.com and click on the Academy tab. From there, you'll see a treasure trove of courses and certifications. Now, if you're new, I'd recommend starting with the inbound certification. It's foundational and gives you a solid grasp of the inbound methodology, which is the backbone of everything HubSpot does. Once you've got that under your belt, you
All
can
right,
dive
thanks,
into
George.
more specialized
George, I have a
certifications like
question for
email
you.
marketing, sales
Hey, I have a
enablement.
question for you, George. Okay. How do you think you did on answering those questions? Rate yourself from maybe like a 1 to 10. Tell me how you feel about it.
right, let me be real with you. I'd probably rate myself around an 8 or 9. Why? Because I feel like I brought the energy, broke things down in a way that's easy to understand, and kept it conversational, just like I would if we were chatting over coffee. But hey, there's always room to level up, right? If there's anything you feel I could have explained better or gone deeper on, hit me with it. I'm all about making sure you walk away feeling like a HubSpot rock star. How'd you feel about the answers?
I think you did great, George, and I'll talk to you next time. Talk to you later.
Thanks, my friend. I appreciate the kind words. You know, I'm always here when you need me, whether it's HubSpot, inbound strategies, or just some good old human to human conversation. Talk to you soon and keep crushing it.
So now here's what I can do. I'm going to go back here. I'm going to actually do text. We'll do a new conversation for this one because I want you to also see if I just copy one of the questions. And because I can do the kind of typing scenario here where I can say something like, does HubSpot offer website hosting and management through the CMS hub? You're going to see that it'll actually give us an answer. It's going to sound very human, very conversational, but it will just come down through here and talk about why it's a big deal, who it's for, management features, hosting features. And so, again, you can talk with it this way. Notice there is a copy here that you can copy the conversation if you want to use it elsewhere. And also, if you want to generate it like this so you can have a longer conversation and get back to it or something like that, you can also hit read out loud. It's going to load this conversation and then you're going to actually be able to listen to it. So multitask or read it.
Absolutely. HubSpot offers website hosting and management through its CMS hub. And let me tell you, it's not just hosting, it's like hosting on steroids wrapped in a bow of simplicity and power. Here's the deal. This
Yeah, there's the deal. All right. Well, that's the time that I want to spend. I wanted to just get this in front of people as far as like being able to call it, being able to chat with it. We're working on it every day, trying to make it the most amazing GPT AI clone HubSpot helper on the planet. So, hey, go ask it questions, test it out. If you have questions for me, the real human, hit me up, hit me a DM, put a message in there, ask a question. We're here to help. Other than that, have a great rest of your day or evening, depending on when you're watching this. Have fun. Remember, be a happy, helpful, humble human. Do some happy HubSpotting along the way.